For a long time, the tiny island of Migingo in Lake Victoria was not inhabited. Only the evil spirit Kalele lived there. And today, more than 130 people live in an island with an area of only 2 square kilometers. The island does not belong to any of the neighboring states, which are Uganda and Kenya. Moreover, the island enjoys rare of African democracy, and in a week's time, the residents of Migingo earn almost 3 times more than their neighbors on the mainland in a month. How do the inhabitants of the island live, and where do they spend such a huge amount of money? Hello everyone, my name is Roman. Enjoy this issue. Disputes over fish. Lake Victoria in Africa has long been an inexhaustible source of fish for Uganda and Kenya. But over time, the freshwater fish population began to decrease. Therefore, in the 60s, it was decided to artificially increase it, and the Nile perch was released in Victoria. Huge and voracious fish quickly destroy their smaller relatives. Of course, the Nile perch began to be caught by local fishermen and sold. Neither Uganda nor Kenya could help but notice the increased demand for Nile perch on the market as well, especially since they had long been arguing about the tiny and very well-located island of Migingo. While the heads of state were arguing in 1991, 2 fishermen from Kenya, George Kibibi and Dalmas Tembo, sailed to the island. Even the fact that an evil spirit named Kalele lived on Migingo did not stop them. For the sake of the prospect of becoming rich, the fishermen spared no expense in hiring a powerful shaman. Just for 300 kilograms of Nile perch, the sorcerer performed the ritual of exorcising the spirit of Kalele from Migingo. The way to the island was open. Tembo and Kibibi first lived on it only together, but soon they were joined by 60 more people. The island's population quickly grew to 130 people as of 2009, who used to live in Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya. Formally, the island today does not belong to any neighboring state, so Kibibi and Tembo declared it an independent republic. However, they were not left alone. First one, then the second country sent its representatives for negotiations to Tembo and Kibibi. In exchange for protection from pirates and the arbitrariness of their neighbors, the governments of the countries demanded that the inhabitants of the islands pay them taxes. Well, of course, no one agreed. This resulted in a series of conflicts between Kenya and Uganda. The coast guards of both countries even broke shacks on the island and cut fishing nets. Several shootings ensued, during which the inhabitants of the island were killed. In Migingo itself, there were also several armed fights between Ugandans and Kenyans living there, which ended in the death of 6 people. Finally, in 2009, a commission was convened to determine the status of the island's ownership, but no decisions were ever made. As a result, the island was managed by both neighboring countries, but the inhabitants of the island of Migingo, of course, did not like that. Fishermen were forced to pay 25% of taxes on their profits to both Uganda and Kenya, and the fishermen give 10% of the profits to the authorities of Migingo itself. However, none of them is left out. The Nile perch is very expensive, and in a week, skilled fishermen receive $300 to $400 from its sale, and they prefer to spend the remaining money after paying taxes on the Migingo itself, since there are enough places for entertainment on the island. In a tight space and with a lot of entertainment. Before the mass settlement on the island of Migingo, there was quite lush vegetation. Today, only 2 trees remained, clinging to the sides of the rickety shacks. Local residents live in a very cramped condition, and there is no normal housing on the island. There's also no hospital on the island, and the islanders go to Uganda or Kenya to be treated. All the huts are built for iron sheets. There are no baths or toilets, only a kitchen and a bedroom. Residents of the island wash and relieve themselves right in the surrounding waters of the lake. There's also no electricity on the island, as well as television and internet. The local fishermen and their women somehow manage without them. Fishermen spend all their time fishing and their women cutting fish. The women disembowel the Nile perch right on the shore of the island after sending most of the catch for sale. The remaining fish are cleaned, hung on a liner wire, and hung directly in the narrow passages between the shacks to dry. And in their free time, the inhabitants of the island of Migingo have fun from the heart. On the island, whose area does not exceed half of a football field, there are various entertainment venues. Migingo has 5 bars, several hotels, its own pharmacy, and a beauty salon for women and men. There are even as many as 4 brothels where local women work as priestesses of love. Bars and brothels are quite free to sell alcohol and light drugs as well, but only for local people. Migingo is not deprived of the attention of tourists. They often come here with excursions. For tourists, they even built several hotels from the same profile sheets and with earthen floors. More or less normal buildings on the island are a police station built by Ugandans and a small church. Ugandan police officers keep order and protect tourists as well, as they, by the way, cannot stay on the island for more than a day. This is the rule established by the honorary senators Kibibi and Tembo, who manage the affairs of the island. Fair punishments. Senators Tembo and Kibibi do not invent all the laws and rules of behavior on the island alone. They confer with 5 other male senators who were chosen by all the inhabitants of the island. The quote-unquote Big 7 from Migingo takes all decisions only by a general vote. The laws governing the most populous island in the world are strict, but definitely fair. Senators reserve their right to conduct trials and punish the guilty. Thieves are especially harshly treated. For petty theft, a thief is beaten with a straw whip. For a larger theft, however, or recidivism, the criminal is banished from the island of Migingo forever. This prospect frightens many people, especially fishermen who earn good money. Therefore, there are almost no crimes on the island except for the rare drunken fights. Moreover, new people who can provoke conflicts do not appear on Migingo. Outsiders cannot settle on the island. The senators have forbidden the construction of new houses. Possible escape from overpopulation. The inhabitants of the island of Migingo have a real opportunity to escape from overpopulation. Outsiders do not settle on the island, but children are born regularly and in large numbers despite the lack of medical care. Just 200 meters from the tiny island is Migingo, an island whose area is several times larger than the area of Migingo, but the islanders are in no hurry to settle on it. But why? It's all about the evil spirits. Kalele, who used to live on the island, escaped to Migingo after the ceremony of exorcism, but he was not there alone. Even before that, an even more evil spirit named Tuk lived on the island, and 2 evil spirits on the same island is just too much. And none of the shamans is responsible for their exorcism, not even for a ton of precious Nile perch. But still, the island of Migingo is not uninhabited. There are several buildings on Migingo, where scientists from different countries live. They study the flora and fauna of Lake Victoria and at the same time observe their neighbors from the island of Migingo, but the evil spirits Kalele and Tuk do not ever touch them. The reason is quite understandable. All the scientists are whites and the Africans believe that evil spirits don't care about them. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Subscribe to the channel if you are interested, and you can also like it, if you want it, of course. All the best, and see you again.